In order for you to use the injection/medicines, first the items must be made available in stock. Let's add stocks. Go to the inventory page. Before adding stock, first make sure the item is available in the inventory list. Search for the item here. Make sure the item that we're going to add stock is in the active list. If the item is not listed, activate the item, if it is available as an active item, or add the item, if it is not available in both the active and inactive list. To add stock, scroll down to the inventory menus. If this section is empty, click here to load the menus. Click Receive. This is where we will enter our stocks, either received from suppliers/vendors or as starting stocks. If you are entering stocks received from suppliers/vendor, make sure the supplier/vendor is available in this list. If the supplier/vendor is not listed, click Add Vendors to add the supplier/vendor. Add the vendor's details here and click Add to save. Now the supplier/vendor will be listed here. Select the supplier/vendor from this list, or if you are entering starting stocks, select Adjustments as the vendor. If you are entering items received from vendor, make sure you have the vendor's invoice in hand in order to record the invoice date, invoice number/reference and due date. Also make sure all the items in the invoice are available in inventory. Specify the invoice date, if receiving from supplier/vendor, or current date, if entering as starting stock. If received from supplier/vendor, make sure the invoice date is used and not the received date. Enter the invoice number/reference here. Vendor's payments are tracked by this invoice number, so make sure they are correct. Do not use any other number/reference other than invoice number. Do not use PO or due numbers. If this is starting stock, enter adjective instead of invoice number/reference. Specify the due date of this invoice, based on the credit terms of this vendor. If the payment term is 30 days, specify the approximate date this invoice should be paid. If you are entering starting stocks, enter any date here. For stocks received from suppliers/vendors, the invoices will be automatically captured and payables can be managed under vendor summary. For this, the accuracy of the entries here is very important. You can enter up to 20 items. To add more, click on the last number. Additional lines, up to 20, can be added. If this invoice has more than 20 items, enter and save the first 20 items first, and then enter and save the remaining items using the exact invoice date and invoice number/reference. Search for the item to be entered here. Select from the drop-down list. If the item is not available, you need to either activate the item or add as a new item, refer adding new inventory item. Enter the quantity received. Pay attention to the unit and make sure the quantity is adjusted to this unit. For example, if you receive 10 boxes, do not enter 10 here as the unit is 1 T not box. Find out how many tablets in the box. If one box has 100 T, 10 boxes will have 1000 T. Batch number is automatically generated. It is very important to write down this batch number on the stock, as whenever this item is dispensed, the batch number must be specified and saved in order to maintain accurate stocks count. Specify the expiry date for this item received. If there are multiple expiry dates, separate the items by expiry dates and enter them separately as different batches. Specify the cost as stated in the invoice. In this example, the cost for 1000 T will be entered. If this is starting stock, enter the approximate/estimate cost for this entire quantity. If this warning is shown, it means the cost per unit differs significantly from the recorded cost. Most often the problem is wrong units, so double-check the unit and cost. If purchase order, PO, has been created before, check whether the stock received is per the PO or not. This is the PO number and date. These are the items ordered in this PO. This is the item ordered and being received. 1200 T has been ordered but only 1000 T is received. This is called underfilled and can be checked under/overfilled items. Tick here to make as received. Items that have been matched to PO will appear in this color. Matched item to the PO. It is good practice to plan your purchases using POs and track the suppliers/vendors' deliveries by matching stocks with POs. Search for the second item in the invoice, or the starting stock. Select the item from the drop-down list. The batch number is generated automatically. Write down this batch number of the item so that whenever the item is used, the batch number can be known. Note that the inventory unit for this item is 1 ml. Enter the received quantity in this unit. Specify the expiry date of this item. Enter the cost of this item as stated in the invoice. If this is starting stock, enter the approximate/estimate cost for this entire quantity. This is an example of a common mistake. Here the unit is accidentally entered as 10 bottles. If one bottle contains 100 ml, the unit must be calculated for 1 ml, which should be 100 ml x 10 bottles equals 1000 ml. If PO is available, mark this item in the PO as received. When the lowest inventory unit is used, E1 ml, the bigger/alternate unit conversion can be specified here, E bottles. Specify the alternate unit here. Here we enter bottle. Enter the factor to be multiplied to get this alternate unit. Here to convert 1000 ml to bottles, we need to multiply 1000 with 0.01, so enter 0.01 as the factor. When alternate units conversion are specified, stock's balance can be represented in those units. In this example, 100 bottle is shown below 1000. The alternate unit will also be shown in the batch quantities. Optionally, notes can be entered. In this example we enter the location of this item in the store. The notes will be shown in the batch quantities. Search for the third item in the invoice, or the starting stock. Select from the drop-down list. Note the inventory unit for this item, 1G. Enter the quantity received in the inventory unit. In this example, we receive 10 tubes, and one tube contains 30 G, so total is 10 tubes x 30 G equals 300 G. The batch number is generated automatically. Write down this batch number of the item so that whenever the item is used, the batch number can be known. Specify the expiry date. Enter the cost as stated in the invoice. If this is starting stock, enter the approximate/estimate cost for this entire quantity. Here we enter the alternate unit as tube. To convert 300 G to tubes, the factor is 0.0333, 300 G x 0.0333 equals 10 tubes. If there is other non-inventory charges in this invoice, e.g. delivery charges, enter the other charges here. Make sure the total is the same as in the invoice. For invoices with more than 20 items, as the stocks are entered in multiple batches, the total here will not be as in the invoice. Check the total under Vendor Summary. Click Enter to save the received items. To quickly check on the stock, search the item here. And select the item from the drop-down list. The stock quantity will be shown here. Note that for two-tier clinics, the stock is not available in the dispensary, local, yet and therefore batch number will not be available. For two-tier clinics, the stock must be issued to the dispensary, local, in order to be dispensed to patients. To enter the received stocks that we have just entered, first specify the period to list the invoices. Click Received Items. This will list all items received in the period. Note that stocks entered under vendor adjustments will be hidden. To show the stocks under adjustments, click Show/Hide Adjective. Now the stocks received under adjustments will be listed. To see the details, click on the date. Note that for adjustments, editing is not allowed except for quantity and factor editing. The quantity can be edited by changing the quantity and clicking Edit D only. The factor can be edited by changing and clicking Edit. For non-adjustments, the stock details can be edited as long the stock has not been dispensed. If the stock has been used/dispensed, this stock will be posted. Unposted stocks can be edited or deleted. After making the changes, click Edit to save. To delete only this received item, click Delete. To delete the entire invoice and all the items in this invoice, click Delete all items in this invoice. Stocks that have been used/dispensed is considered posted. For posted stocks, the quantity can be changed if necessary. Make the changes and click Edit D only to save. For posted stocks, the factor can be changed if necessary. Make the changes and click Edit to save. That's it. You're done.